Hey everyone! Welcome back to Let's Talk English, the podcast where we have real, natural conversations so you can practice your listening skills and learn everyday English. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Jeremiah. So glad you're here with us today. You know, one of the best ways to improve your English is just to listen to people having real conversations, not textbook stuff, just how people actually talk.
Exactly. And today's episode is super useful because we're talking about English at work. So, what do you say in meetings? How do you write a professional email? What do you talk about with your coworkers when you're just standing by the coffee machine?
Ah, yes, the classic coffee machine chat. Very important skill.
So important. Okay, so let's just jump right in. Jeremiah, let's say it's Monday morning. You walk into the office. What do you say to your coworkers?
Okay, so the most common thing, you walk in, you see someone, and you say, "Hey, how was your weekend?" Simple as that.
Right, yeah.
And people will usually say something like, "Oh, it was good, pretty relaxed. Yours?" They ask back. That's really natural. Always ask back. It shows you're interested.
That's such a good point. And if something fun happened, you can say, "Oh, I had a great weekend, actually. I went to the farmer's market," or "I watched this really good movie." Just something small and easy to talk about.
Mm-hmm. And notice she said actually, like, "I had a great weekend, actually." That little word makes it sound more natural, more conversational. People use it a lot.
I do say actually a lot. Okay, what about if your weekend was just normal? Like nothing happened. What do you say then?
Oh, totally fine. You can say, "It was pretty quiet, honestly. Just stayed home and relaxed." Or, "Nothing special, just recharged." That word, recharged, it means you rested and got your energy back. It sounds really natural.
Oh, I love that. I just recharged. Yeah, and honestly, most people don't expect a long story. It's just small talk. It's friendly, it's brief, and then you both move on with your day.
Exactly. The goal of small talk isn't to have a deep conversation, it's just to be friendly, to connect, you know? If you work with someone every day, you want it to feel comfortable.
Right. Okay, what about some other small talk topics? Like, what do people talk about at work besides the weekend?
Oh, the weather is huge. Like, always safe to talk about the weather. Can you believe how cold it was this morning? Or it's finally warming up. People love that.
The weather. Yes, always.
Also, food. Like, have you tried that new lunch place around the corner? Or someone brought donuts, did you see? Food is always a great conversation starter at work.
Oh my gosh, yes! Free food in the office, instant conversation. Okay, so we talked about small talk, that's really helpful. Let's talk about meetings now, because meetings can feel really intimidating, especially in another language.
Oh, for sure. And I think the biggest challenge is, how do you speak up? How do you share your opinion without sounding too aggressive or too shy?
Right, that balance. So there are some really useful phrases for this. Like, if you want to give your opinion, you can say, "I think," or "in my opinion," or even "from my perspective." Those all work well.
And they make you sound confident without being rude. Because in English, especially in a professional setting, how you say something is just as important as what you say.
Totally. And what about a greeting? Like, you don't always have to say, "I agree." What else can you say?
Oh, so many options. You can say, "That's a great point," or "Absolutely, I think that makes sense," or even just "exactly," which is very common. Exactly shows you strongly agree.
Mm-hmm. And disagreeing politely, that one's tricky, right? Because you don't want to seem rude, but you also need to say what you think.
Yeah, so one of the best ways is to use what's called a softener before you disagree. So instead of just saying, "No, that's wrong," you say something like, That's an interesting idea, but I wonder if, or I see what you mean, however, I think we should consider.
Oh, I love that. I see what you mean, however. It shows you listened and then you give your different opinion. That's so professional.
Right. And another one, I'm not sure I agree with that, but I'd love to hear more. That keeps the conversation open. It's not aggressive, you're still inviting the other person to explain.
That's great. Okay, what about asking for clarification? Because sometimes someone says something in a meeting and you just don't quite follow. What do you say?
Okay, so this is really important, and a lot of people are afraid to do this, but you should always ask if you don't understand. You can say, "Sorry, could you clarify what you mean by that?" Or, "Could you say that again, please?" Very polite, very normal.
Yes, please always ask. Nobody thinks it's bad to ask. Another one I like is just to make sure I understand, you're saying that, and then you repeat it back in your own words. That's called paraphrasing, and it's super useful.
Paraphrasing, yeah. And it actually makes you look smart because it shows you're actively thinking about what was said.
Exactly. Okay, let's move on to emails because emails are honestly something everyone deals with every single day.
Every single day, yes. And I think a lot of people struggle with how to start an email and how to end it. Those two parts can feel really stiff or awkward.
Okay, so let's start with the opening. What are some ways to begin a professional email?
So the most classic one is Dear Name. That's very formal. But in most modern workplaces, it's perfectly fine to say Hi Name or Hello Name. Those are friendly but still professional.
Right, and actually, hi is super common now. Even in more professional settings, it doesn't sound too casual anymore.
Agreed. Now, one thing a lot of people do is start with, "I hope this email finds you well." And, I mean, it's fine, but it's a little overused at this point.
Yeah, it's a bit of a cliche now. You can still use it, but some fresher options are, I hope you're doing well, or you can just get straight to the point. I'm writing to ask about, or I wanted to follow up on.
Oh, follow up. That's such a key phrase. Like if you sent an email before and didn't get a reply, you write again and say, "I just wanted to follow up on my previous email." That's very polite and very common.
Yes, follow up. You'll hear that all the time. Okay, so what about the body of the email, like the middle part?
So the big rule there is be clear and be brief. Don't write paragraphs and paragraphs. Get to your point quickly and use simple, clear language. If you're asking for something, say, "Could you please?" or "Would it be possible to?" These are polite ways to make a request.
Mm-hmm. And would it be possible to? I love that one. It's polite, but it's also kind of soft, like you're not demanding anything. You're giving the person a choice.
Exactly. And if you need something by a certain time, you can say, "Please let me know by Friday," or "I'd appreciate a response at your earliest convenience." That last phrase, "at your earliest convenience," is a bit formal, but it means as soon as you can.
At your earliest convenience. Yeah, that's a good one to know. Okay, what about how to end an email, the sign-off?
So before the sign-off, a lot of people write a closing sentence like, "Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions." That's super common. It basically means, if you have questions, just ask me.
Right. Don't hesitate to reach out. You'll see that in almost every professional email.
And for the sign-off itself, so best regards is classic and formal. Kind regards is also very common. If it's a bit more casual, just best or thanks works great. And if you're really casual with someone, even just cheers or talk soon.
I use thanks a lot. It just feels warm without being too informal, you know?
Yeah, thanks is a really safe, friendly choice. Okay, one more thing about emails. something people often ask me about is how do you sound professional without sounding cold or robotic?
Oh, that's such a good question. I think the key is to not overthink it. Write like a person. Like you can be professional and still be warm. Add a little human touch, like I hope you have a great weekend at the end if it's a Friday, or happy Monday at the start of the week.
Yeah, small things like that make a big difference. People remember when you're friendly and genuine. And honestly, at work, being warm and approachable, that matters a lot for your relationships with colleagues.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's do a quick summary before we wrap up because I feel like we covered a lot today. For small talk, ask about the weekend, talk about the weather or food. Always ask the other person back. Keep it light and friendly.
Right. For meetings, share your opinions using phrases like, I think, or from my perspective. Agree by saying, that's a great point, or exactly. And if you disagree, soften it first. Say, I see what you mean, however, and always ask if you don't understand something.
And for emails, start with hi or hello. Be clear and brief in the middle. Use polite request phrases like, could you please, or would it be possible to, and end with something like best or thanks, and add a little warmth where you can.
Perfect summary. Learning these phrases and just getting comfortable with them takes time, but the more you listen and practice, the more natural it becomes.
That's so true, and that's exactly why we're here, to give you that listening practice every episode. So don't worry if you didn't catch everything. You can always listen again.
All right, well, that's all for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. It really means a lot to us. Keep practicing, keep listening, and remember, every little bit of English you learn is a step forward. We'll see you next time on Let's Talk English.